Hello and welcome to Sanatu Zambang. My name is Mariam Pana, and with me today in the studios are Mr. Latif from Mary Stopes International and Sandra. Welcome to the studios.
Thank you.
Today we'll be talking about abortion and the issue of mentally ill women getting pregnant. But first and foremost, Mr. Latif, I would like to know more about Mary Stopes International.
Okay. Mary Stopes International is a non-profit organization. It extends its roots from London. That was back in 1921. It was first formed or founded by one lady. She was a midwife. She's in the person of Mary Stopes. So that's where our name actually comes from. Yeah. So she founded this clinic. It was basically for family planning. But she passed away during those periods. So that was later on in 1970s. We had one Dr. Tim Black. He's a doctor. And then he and his wife decided to revive that organization. And they decided to name it to actually depict the person who founded it, and which was Mary Stopes. So Mary Stopes International, actually we are global. We have about 37 countries we work in. And in Africa, I think we have about 4 or 5 countries that we actually work in. In Ghana here, we have various outlets through which we run our services. So one of the outlets is our 8 centers of excellence. These are actually youth-friendly centers. So they look more like offices, but they are not actually offices. They are clinics. So with these youth centers, you come there, we have services that we render. And some of our services are family plan, which is our core service. We have other services as well. So we do fertility management too. We do sexual transmitted infection, its management, and screening as well. We do cervical cancer and breast cancer screening, and then treatment. We do ONG, that's obstetrics and gynecology. So any form of consultation that has to do with sexual and reproductive health. And we also do education as well. We go to the rural communities to educate people. We have our Blue Star franchises. We call them our social franchise clinics. These are actually partners we have with private hospitals or private facilities where we train the midwives, we build their capacities based on our standards, and they're able to provide services to the youth. We also have our outreach teams. They go to the far communities to talk to people. They also build the capacities of Ghana Health Service workers. So the midwives and then the health practitioners, they build their capacities so that they can provide family planning services to people. So basically, Mary Stopes, that's what we do. I've also forgotten about our Mary Stopes ladies. These are women or midwives. And we also have made husbands too as well. So that one is a business model. Because what we do is we only provide them with commodities, we build their capacities, and then all they do is to provide the services. What we need from them is the data. We only take data from them, so they are able to. So it's more or less like they are entrepreneurs in the business model.
I think another thing that I didn't hear you mention is abortions.
Sure. I decided to actually keep it out so that you ask me. So we also do safe abortion, not just abortion, safe abortion. And we have what we call comprehensive abortion care. So later on, I think I'll still talk about that.
So fine, let's talk about abortions now. So what makes an abortion safe?
What makes an abortion safe?
Okay.
So truth be told, there's no form of abortion that is 100% safe. There's always a risk to the woman or the baby. So when we talk of unsafe abortion, we are looking at all those procedures that are being carried out. One, when it is carried out by somebody who is not licensed, who is not registered and certified to carry out such a procedure, then we say it's unsafe. 2, when it is also carried out in an environment that is not registered and licensed to carry out such a procedure, it's also unsafe. So you can even have a medical practitioner, a doctor, a gynecologist, who is certified to do that.
Yeah.
But the person carrying it out at the backyard of his house, or even in a place that is not certified to do that, then it's still unsafe abortion. Yes. So it's not just the mere layman understanding that unsafe abortion is when you go to the quacks or you go and buy some drugs and use something to perforate that. That's not the only explanation to what unsafe is. So these are the various circumstances through which would turn an abortion unsafe.
Okay. All right. We talk about whether abortion is legal in Ghana or not. I think that's something I need you to be clear on. Is abortion legal in Ghana?
No, please. Abortion is not legal.
Okay.
But our laws have actually provided some instances or conditions, yes, that you can actually perform abortion.
Okay.
Yes. And do you want me to?
Yes, sure.
Okay. All right. So with the Criminal Offences Act, that was in 1960, Section 58. That's the Act 29, Section 58, subsection 1 to 4. It talks about those caveats that would actually provide people the opportunity to actually have abortion services.
Okay.
One of those is when they have a person who is being raped, or when an idiot, a female idiot, those people mentally ill people, when people defile them, such people can actually opt, and if they can't opt for a service, if they can't request for the service themselves, then they have relatives because they don't have the capacity to actually do that. So their relatives or any person who is in local parentis, that means somebody who can stand in place of the person and then say, I consent to this. You can actually carry out this procedure on this person. Then the law agrees and gives you that chance to actually do it. Yes. In other instances too, it also talks about a woman who feels that she's pregnant. Now, if she keeps the pregnancy, that means when she continually keeps the pregnancy, it might cause either physical injury, psychological or mental injury to her health.
Okay.
So when that happens, then that woman can actually request for an abortion. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yes. We also have instances where by some tests, they could realize that the unborn child that the woman carries, if the fetus, when it comes out as a baby, it would have some form of physical deformity. That would be when they will weigh the pros and cons of the child living and the child not living, they will decide to terminate it. And the law actually gives that room for you to do that. Yeah.
Sandra, I know you have been working in communities, and I want to know of some of your experiences when it comes to cases of abortion.
Okay, so I work with an organization called Savannah Signatures, and they have this platform where young people can call in with their sexual and reproductive health issues. So they are counseled, and when there's a need for them to see a doctor or a midwife, we refer them to some facilities like Mary's Tools. Okay, so some of the cases I've come across with regards to abortion is some situations where a young person gets pregnant, but then she's from a very deprived community, and they ask, so how much will it cost for me to get a safe abortion? Then give them the prices. They can't afford. Okay, so sometimes they would rather prefer to go to the pharmacy or wherever they can get a drug at a cheaper price to do some of this abortions. Sometimes they even resort to other, should I say, local or dangerous methods like drinking of these concoctions and the rest in order to abort the baby, and it becomes a big challenge. I don't know what Mary Stopes is doing in that regard, with regard to those who actually want to do it, but then they don't have enough funds to be able to carry out a safe abortion.
Okay, so I think Mr. Latif could address that.
Yeah. So this with that question, we actually do a lot. Our prices are actually moderate. When you look at the price ranges compared to other health facilities, so either public or the private health facilities, our prices are actually moderate. But quite apart from that, we are very flexible when it comes to pricing. As an organization, we're even flexible in our dealings, the way we work.
Okay.
So, as I said initially, we are a non-governmental organization and we are non-profit. So it's not the money we are in for.
In for, yes.
Sometimes we go to communities, we go and then we provide services.
Yeah.
We want to do it for free, but we don't want to cultivate the habit of doing free stuff. So sometimes you just ask for just a peanut, say, pay 1 cedi for this. We want to see that commitment from the people themselves. That shows us that they actually need the service. It's not that we are forcing them to come for it, or just because it's free.
It's
you know,
free,
in Ghana,
so yes,
anything that is
that's
free,
free,
everybody
yes,
is coming
everybody.
for it. Yeah, that's something like that.
Yeah.
But we have instances where people come in. When you come and then you don't have the money to actually pay, we'll tell you this is our prices. When you come and you don't have it, we have certain protocols that we take you through. So in taking you through some of these protocols, you would have a phone call to our support office in Accra, and they're able to assist you. And at the end of the day, whatever you have, you take it and we render the service for you. Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Latif, what makes Mary Stopes International different from other facilities?
Okay. With Mary Stopes International, as I said, with what we do, all that we do syncs with all the other countries. We do almost the same thing. So it's more like if you have, do you see KFC the way KFC is? Fine. It's a franchise. When we talk of franchises, they do the same thing, irrespective of the place. So what happens in London, what happens in Finland, what happens in Kenya, it's the same thing we are doing here. And we are guided by standards and principles. Now with our centers, when it comes to our centers, one, the striking difference is it doesn't look like a clinic for you. It's more youth friendly. It looks like an office.
Okay, very private.
Very private too. Very good. So with people going to the public and then private health facilities, most of these public and private health facilities, the health workers there do not have the time and patience with clients. Most often they would like to see you in a certain way. For us, when you come, we are smiling upon your arrival, and then we receive you very warmly. We counsel them. We don't just decide that since you are coming for this service, we are doing it for you. We counsel you. You would know the pros and cons of what you want to do, the risk attached to it. Then at the end of the day, you still have to make a choice, and we don't tell you to pick a choice. We allow you to make that choice. So when you decide, that's after the counseling. So when that is done, as I mentioned earlier, we have something called comprehensive abortion care. When you go to other health facilities, they don't have that. So with the comprehensive abortion care, the first thing you do is you counsel. After counseling, if the person decides that I want to terminate, you give them the options. You have the medical one. You just take a drug. You have the surgical one. So depending on what you want, then we pick it from there. So if you decide that you want the medical or the surgical, and the procedure is carried out, you have a grace period of about 2 weeks. You come back for review. When you come back for review, now, immediately you come back without any complications. If there are complications, we manage it. If there are no complications, we'd have to enroll you onto a family planning method. And this is actually a caveat that we have instituted in that comprehensive abortion care, that if you are coming for safe abortion, would have to enroll you onto a family planning method.
So what if I don't want to?
Most often than not, you do. There are instances where people actually don't, but it's very slight. So out of 100% of clients that we actually attend to, usually our post-abortion family planning, we have about 98% of the clients taking it. So you only have about 2%, which is very minimal. Yes. So I'm not writing it off that some people don't do it. Because at the end of the day, it's still your choice. But we try to counsel you and let you understand that we don't want you to get back into that situation again. Okay. So through the counseling, sometimes we are able to break through, and then people accept that, yes, after the procedure, I'll take up a family planning method. Yeah. And this you will not find in the pharmacies, you will not find in elsewhere.
I don't know if you have anything else to say on abortion.
Okay, so like I said earlier on, we have some numbers you can call on wherever you are, no matter the time or the day.
Okay.
Okay, so for the days aside weekends. So from Monday to Friday, if you call and you have a problem aside abortion even with regards to your sexual and reproductive health, we can link you up with Maristopes or any health facility wherever you are in Ghana so that you go for services. So these numbers are 0544 711 799 0544 711 799. We have a Vodafone number to 050 2863 699. 050 2863 699. So if you call on these numbers with any SRHR issues, we will be at your service. Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Latif, earlier on you mentioned the issue of mentally ill women getting pregnant and it resulting to abortions and all of that. So I want to know more about this issue of mentally ill women getting pregnant. I believe you would have more to say about that.
So in the Constitution,
Yeah.
that's in that act, the Act of 1960, the Criminal Offences Act. It stipulates that with persons of that nature, initially I used the word female idiots, but the right term now is people with cognitive health problems.
Okay.
So with such people, they lack the capacity to actually come in for services of sexual and reproductive health nature. So what, as an organization, and what the Act actually stipulates is that for such persons, people who are standing in their stead, it could be relatives, it could be friends, or somebody who is in the local parentage, somebody who takes care of their guidance or whatever, can come and then consent to the fact that we want to carry out this particular service or procedure on this person, just because probably people are taking advantage of them. They don't have the capacity to say yes or no, or to desist from such an act. So with such people, we need to actually protect them. And how do we do that? Either we enroll them onto family planning, so that if people actually get the opportunity to even take advantage of them, they are still safe from getting pregnant. And then with such people who are already in such a situation, so as I mentioned, those people that are standing in their stead would come and then consent to it, and then such a procedure could be carried out on them. Yes.
Sandra, have you heard of such issues in the community or not?
Oh, so many. There's a recent one I heard of, but she's quite grown. She just gave birth 2 years ago, and there are several times she has tried killing the baby.
Wow.
Okay, so that you just end up taking the child from her. And whenever you try to even come close to the child, the way she will react, she's always very arrogant and aggressive. And she also has a junior sister who has a similar problem. So what they did was, I don't actually know where they sent her, because they called in and we referred them to Maristo. I think you don't work on Saturdays, right?
We work on Saturdays.
They said they came. It's half day. They said they came and nobody was. It was closed. So I think they went to the hospital or something. So when they went, they actually wanted to put her on a permanent family planning method, but the family objected to it because they think that what if one day she gets well and she wants to have children? Okay, so they kept her on the temporary. No, there's a temporary one, the 3 months, 6 months.
Those are short term.
Short term, yeah. So they kept her on that one. But for the senior sister, the one who has already given birth, you can't even. You have to, I think, just bundle her and take her to the hospital. She's so aggressive. So I think there are so many cases of that, and we as youth should kind of find innovative ways of helping such people.
And with issues of this nature, I don't know whether with this part of our country we have such homes where they house them.
I think aside what the late Dr. Abdullahi is doing, when he basically just give them food, probably shelter, right?
So that's the problem.
So I think we can liaise with such organizations. Okay, this is what they are already doing for mentally ill people, and we want to add up this to it. We realize that despite them being homeless and what do we call it, not getting food to eat.
Yes,
They also
and-
have these
and
issues.
That's where my problem is, because for some of these people, they still have their guardians around and they can consent to certain things and
Yeah.
all of that. But what about those on the streets? Those ones that we don't even know who their family is and all
So
of that.
that's why I was saying that we can work with these organizations who are
partner,
already
yeah.
doing something for them, because at that stage they become their guardian.
Yeah.
If you are in an institution, then we don't know where your family is. You are currently there. Whatever happens to you is under the control of that particular organization you are housed.
Yeah.
So I think with their consent, we can give them some of these services, and we can't do it all by ourselves. We have to work with organizations who render these services in the first place, and those who actually take care of them.
So it should be more of a partnership.
Partnership, exactly.
With such organizations, I hope you're up for with what we are doing.
Yeah.
They'll get to hear about some of these things, and then they will reach out to us. Because some of them, I don't know if they even exist. Some of those
Very
organizations.
true.
So,
Yeah.
as if they really exist, they should come out and then we'll have that partnership and see how best we can help them.
Okay.
Because such cases are very, very rampant.
Yes, so much.
They're everywhere.
Okay. And another thing is, in as much as these things happen, sometimes I'm just trying to understand what could be the reason for things like this, because these are people that are mentally ill.
Yeah.
Unlike those ones that are, should I say, a bit controlled. I still can't understand. Like, I can't wrap my head around the fact that a normal male, let me put it that way, would go in for a mentally ill woman. It is different. Like, let's just say that in a controlled environment where, like I said, she has taken her bath, she looks, kind of normal, fine. But you find that there are women, these ones on the streets, that people still go to have sex with. Like, I really can't understand it, and I just want to know what fuels things like this.
So, do you also understand that for us human beings, whether we are normal or we are not normal in the brain, in the mind, we all have some form of mental ill health.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's
believe?
true.
So the fact that somebody goes in for somebody like that, that actually depicts that the person is also not in his
So
right
stable,
senses.
right?
Yes. But with issues like that, with issues of attraction, you can't really put an explanation to it, because it's in our nature.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are attracted to things that some other person might see wrong. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
So we can't just write it off and say their attraction to such people is wrong or is right. It's not in our position to actually say that. But what we can say is that with such people, probably they need to be counseled. Such men who are going in for such people. You could be surprised that they are also not well in there.
Yes, that's
I think
that's the thing I think about.
aside that, I think some also go in with ulterior motives. So we are in this era where the youth want so much quick money. So you go to the malam or your pastor, and he's like, you should go and sleep with a mentally ill person. This is the only way you can get your breakthrough. Then that actually you go and do it even when you don't want to, because this is what you want and this is what you have to do. I think these are some of the reasons.
And you also realize that we have drug abuse,
exactly,
which is a serious problem now in Northern Europe.
Yeah.
So if somebody goes to take his or a
Tramo,
and then things are stirred up in there, you can't just do anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we need to, with issues like this, we can't tackle it one. It's
way.
multifaceted.
Yeah.
You need to tackle issues of drug abuse. You need to tackle issues of people like that by counseling them. So we need to tackle a whole lot of things. That's why we're looking for partnerships here and there. All those who are into sexual, all these are all part of reproductive sexual reproductive health. And we're talking about adolescents. We're talking about the youth. And these are things that are bothering the youth. So we need to all come on board. Let's not leave it to only the civil societies, organizations. Individuals, you can also do that. Yes.
All right. Okay. So I think on this, would say that everybody should come on board and let us put an end to things like these.
Yes.
Okay. And then so any final,
I have a lot of final words.
okay. So let's get into it.
When you walk into our centers of excellence, there's always this bold inscription. It says that if a woman walks in for post-abortion complication, if she's there because she didn't get contraception. What it means is we as an organization, we feel that because we should have provided the information on sexual reproductive health that makes the person well informed and the person is able to make a choice. So we feel that one. The second time, if we fail to provide family planning for such a person who comes for an abortion service or post-abortion complication, then what it means is if we fail to provide family planning, what it means is that we failed it twice. So we don't like failing people twice. When you come to us and our logo, if you look at our logo, it signifies that a door is open and then there are people walking in and out. Our doors are open to everybody, no matter where you are coming from, whether you have money, whether you don't have money. Come to us. And as I said, family planning is very cheap. We are actually promoting family planning. We don't even want the instance where people get pregnant and then they are now deciding that I don't want to keep the baby. If you don't want to get pregnant, protect yourself. There are various means in which you can do that. Come to us, talk to us, and then we will also tell you what choices you have, and then you can make such a choice. So we also have our call centers. Even if you are in your home and then you are confronted with a problem, you could call. It's still free on Vodafone, and the number is 0800 20 85 85. 0800 20 85 85.
For only Ghana or
Ghana, yes.
Okay.
If you call, it goes to our call center in Accra.
Okay.
They'll pick up. You have a nice voice that will be speaking to you. Whatever problem you have, just ask them. Ask them questions. They'll be able to help you out. And then our center line, if you are in Tamale and then probably you can't speak English and then you want to speak the local language, you could call this number to 054 311 061. 054 311 061. This goes to our center receptionist. She'll pick up and then she'll address every issue you have. Yes.
Sandra, your final words, and also you give us the number again.
Oh, okay. Like he said earlier, I probably have a lot to say, but then I think for us to be able to solve this issue of unsafe abortions and mentally ill people getting pregnant, I think everybody has to come on board. Parents, guardians, young people themselves, and most teachers, and most especially religious leaders. We are in a society where religious leaders are so respected, and whatever they say, like people actually try to put it into action. So when they champion some of these causes, it reaches so many people. And we come from backgrounds where our parents are so shy in talking to us about some of these issues. And whether they like it or not, young people will have sex. Okay, so it's now left with you to create that enabling environment so that whenever they have issues with regards to that, they can open up to you. Because if you don't give them the information they need, they will get it out there. But the question is, would that be the right information?
Sure.
So you can give us the
Okay, so the numbers are as before, if you can't speak English but can speak Twi or Dagbani or Mamprisi, you can still call the line. And the numbers are 050 2863 699. 050 2863 699. And the MTN is 0544 711 799. 0544 711 799. Thank you.
All right. Okay, thank you guys for coming, and to our viewers, I believe we've been able to answer all your questions, and if you have any further questions, you can call any of the numbers given and then it will be sorted out. Thank you very much for sticking and staying with us. Thank you.